as runners were crossing the finish line at the Boston Marathon, pressure cooker bombs went off, killing 3 people and injuring more than 250 others.
Duka Zaniev, who planted them with his brother, has been sentenced to death by lethal injection.
Stuart and Janice Singer left the site of the bombs shortly before they went off, and they join us now from their home in London. Stuart and Janice, good morning to the both of you. You've been, I assume, following the proceedings in Boston over the last couple of weeks. What have you both made of the decision to pass a death sentence?
Well, for me, I think I was very shocked and surprised when I first heard the news. But it shouldn't be a surprise after the events that we experienced, the terror of what went on and the extreme anger within Boston at the time. It's not really surprising, to be honest with you.
And Janice, what about you? What were your thoughts?
Yes, I also came as a bit of a shock to start with when we heard the verdict, but I think it's the right decision. I think it's a right verdict, and we're pleased with that result, that outcome. Well, for me, I am personally anyway.
Had you followed proceedings, or have you tried to keep away from the media reports, to try to put it behind you?
I think for me, I have followed it. It's quite frustrating that this has taken 2 years to get to this stage, and potentially even more frustrating that the reports that this could go on for another 10 to 12 years. It would be nice if we could get some permanent closure on it, and I think that's been one of the criticisms of the decision, that this may now drag on for a long time, and the victims' families are going to have to suffer longer. But for us, we don't feel that. Obviously, we weren't. Whilst we were there, we were very lucky, so it doesn't affect us quite in such a way. But certainly, we would like this thing closed permanently, to be honest.
I wonder whether you've been back to any similar events. Have you run any road races since?
Yes, I mean, personally, I actually ran the London Marathon 6 days later, which was a fantastic experience to do. And since then, I have run quite a lot of marathons. I ran the World Major Series that year. I recently ran the London Marathon last week. And yes, I think it's certainly, every time you run a marathon, you do think about it, and it has brought the marathon community closer together, so that we can't be affected by this sort of thing.
And Janice, I know you have a set routine, don't you, when you go and watch Stuart race? Again, especially when you did London just 6 days after the Boston event. What were your thoughts? What was going through your mind?
Well, I was in full support of going to the London Marathon. Only, as you say, 6 days later, nothing was going to deter us. Something like that event was not going to deter us from going to support any marathon runner, well, more importantly, Stuart. But I would be in fully support, and ever since then I've gone to every marathon that Stuart's ever run, nothing would deter me at all.
And you say that there's a community around marathon running. Have you kept in contact with anybody? What's the rest of the community thinking about the events of the last few years, and of course the events of the last few days?
Well, we have had a few friends that we've made through whilst we've been standing watching marathons, and we've kept in contact with a few of them. But Stuart's in touch with one particular guy who also, like himself, doesn't stop him running marathons. He also ran the Boston Marathon, and it doesn't stop him running marathons either. Yeah,
I mean, I did actually get a message from him yesterday to say that he was watching the events, and that he felt quite strongly about the decision, and very much in support of it. And so we're still in touch with a number of people from around the world that we met on our travels, which is fantastic, for us to make these sort of friends, and it's a big part of what we do.
Okay, Stuart and Janice, thank you so much for talking to us this morning. We appreciate your time. Thank you.